Evening, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch. Tuesday, February 17, 2026. Hope you're all swell. So this evening I want to talk about how are we, inhabitants of this planet, going to know when a large event happens on the sun, a large solar event, an explosive event, be it a Carrington-size event or a Miyake event. What are we going to experience and see before the arrival of a coronal mass ejection? The point of this talk is not about CMEs, it's about what's going to happen before then. So to use the Carrington-like event, September 1859, a large solar flare in CME impacted the Earth. But you know what? Let's be realistic. It's not going to play out like it is in the movies, where a world leader will get up on the world stage or a podium and make his speech to the world about what has happened and what is going to happen. No, it's not going to happen that way, I don't think. I think they're going to be scurrying away like little to their bunkers, and they're going to be, how can I put it, leaving the world behind. So this talk is based on many years of study, observations, direct observations by myself, what people around me tell me, how they're feeling when there's a space weather event or conditions happening. And I'm going to be taking some scenes from, yeah, that's right, the movie Leave the World Behind. I've given my interpretation of that movie quite a few times. The cover story was the cyber attack, concealing the hidden true message of that movie. If I have time at the end of this talk, I'll explain my reasonings, my thoughts. So let's do a brief recap. What happens on the sun when there's a large event, explosion. So first is the flare, that bright light, that which we see, or you see in all the videos. And that releases the hard X-rays. Traveling at the speed of light, reaches us in about 8.3 minutes. Some of us are energy sensitive. We feel it. Sometimes after the flare, a proton event is launched, which becomes a solar radiation storm. Traveling a little bit slower, it reaches us in tens of minutes. If a coronal mass ejection is produced, then that arrives much slower, anywhere from let's say 16 to 72 hours. The Carrington event, it reached Earth in approximately 17 hours. So again, I'm talking about a large event. It might be a Carrington size event or larger. It could be a Miyake event. It could be a super flare. I'm not talking about this micronova. Okay, forget that nonsense. I'm talking about a large explosive event and just some of the things that we're going to be feeling. So I'm going to be going through some examples. On October 28, 2021, there was a small little itty-bitty X1 flare directly Earth facing that struck the Earth. This was about 8:35 Pacific Standard Time. I was with my wife in the bedroom that morning. And like I said, some people are just more energy sensitive than others. And so when that flare hit, the moment that flare hit, all of a sudden my wife grabbed her head. She felt something, and a sense of vertigo, unbalance, almost fell to the floor. She sort of a staggered walk to the wall in the bedroom to place her body against the wall for some sort of support until I got to her and took her to the bed. And after checking her vitals, I had an idea what happened. I went straight to my phone. And this is what I found. This is a screenshot from my space weather app. So I pulled this out maybe 4 to 5 minutes after the flare struck. And the amount of electromagnetic energy that struck at that time was 7,397 watts per meter squared. To give you an idea how high that was. The normal background radiation level, electromagnetic radiation, is measured in the tens of units. So this was the reading about 4 or 5 minutes after the flare struck. I suspect it would have been much higher, probably close to 10,000 watts per meter square, from a little small itty bitty X1 flare. Now, can you imagine what people in general would feel when an X20, X30, X50 flare, direct Earth facing, strikes, and those hard X-rays traveling at the speed of light reach us in 8.3 minutes? Can you imagine how many people are going to be falling down to the floor and to the ground? Next, it is common during solar radiation events, not CMEs, the proton events I was speaking to you about, arriving in tens of minutes, cause ringing in the ears during solar radiation storms, which causes an ear pressure and sensitivity to sound. Symptoms can include very high-pitched ringing. Now, a few years ago, my daughter woke up one morning and she said, "Dad, I woke up, I got this ringing in my ear." Later on that day, I was down the laneway speaking to a neighbor. Didn't say anything to him. Didn't say anything. He said to me, "Brian, I got this ringing in my ears this morning. I've never had it before." I, of course, knew why they were having ringings in the ears, because we were having a radiation storm then. From a very, very minor event. Now, what if it's a major event? Protons, a radiation storm from that X20, X30, X50. Do you think people might be experiencing this? Next, during radiation storms, I have a set of hydro lines, high voltage lines in front of my house, and sometimes there is a corona, which is a discharge phenomena due to the rise in air ionization across the conductors. I often refer to Science Direct. It's got a pretty good references for any science-based topics. Some of the causes are solar radiation or solar radiation events. So whenever we have a radiation storms, I go outside and this is what I see sometimes. The corona discharge, including across the horizontal members, which are cladded in metal. So I would expect during an extreme event, you're going to see the power lines lighting up like Christmas trees, hydro towers just sparking and arcing and catching on fire. Your local substations are going to be exploding all over the place. Boom. Next, animals and birds are very sensitive to electromagnetic radiation and any changes in the magnetic field or powerful bursts of X-rays. You're going to see birds falling from the skies, like this.
What was that?
And unfortunately, birds aren't the only thing that's going to be falling from the sky. You see, the hard X-rays and associated high-energy particles radiation can affect aircraft avionics with single-event upsets, leading to corrupted or false data glitches in flight control systems. Some of you may remember in October 2025, a significant event was linked to the JetBlue Airbus A320 incident leaving Mexico headed to Florida, which experienced a sudden, unexpected loss of altitude, which was found to be the result of solar radiation impacts. Two similar events before then, involving the 737 MAX, Indonesia. Same thing. Something happened to the flight control systems, avionics. Both planes took a dive into the ocean, every single person dead, unfortunately. These events also affect signal degradation or loss of GNSS, GPS navigation signals, in which ships also require. So just a very quick summary. When there's a large-scale event that happens on the sun, and before the arrival of any CME, we're going to have anywhere from, a large scale, let's just say 12 to 24 hours to prepare. Sudden sharp headache, loss of balance, dizziness, vertigo, falling to the ground. Sudden intense ear ringing. Pets acting out of character, especially dogs. Birds dropping from the sky alongside aircraft. Arcing power lines. They're all going to start catching on fire. Your local substations are going to start exploding. I'm not talking about from the CME impact. I'm talking about from the radiation storms. Sudden unexpected aurora. I'm not talking about from the arrival of the CME. I'm talking about from the radiation storms. All of these things before the arrival of the CME. I'm going to play one final clip.
Are you thinking that your friend is somehow behind what's happening here?
No, nothing like that. A conspiracy theory about a shadowy group of people running the world is far too lazy of an explanation. Especially when the truth is much scarier.
What is the truth?
No one is in control. No one is pulling the strings. Sure, there are those like my friend who might have the right kind of access to the right kind of information. But when events like this happen in the world, the best even the most powerful people can hope for is a heads up.
You see, President Obama produced that video. I believe the black actor, in a sense, represents Mr. Obama and his knowledge of perhaps coming celestial events. Going back to what he said in that clip, no one is in control. No one is pulling the strings, because it's an event that is out of control, not under anybody's control. And when events like this happen in the world, not just America. If I have time, I'll do part 2.